Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're following along, we are doing a tour of wine country in our 1966 Aristocrat Lowliner. It's a vintage trailer that Trey restored a few years back. And we've made our way around the affordability curve, which we've been told is that super windy road that connects Middletown or Lake County over here to Napa County. And we're in Calistoga right now. And our first stop is going to be a picnic because it's lunchtime and there's lots of great places to picnic around here. But this one's very unique. It's a geyser and we'll take you along. And one of my tips for wine country on a budget, there are different Groupons that you can use. In fact, this one we are using a Groupon where we got just about half price tickets to see the geyser.
Tried to save you some.
So that was the Old Faithful Geyser of Calistoga, and it's really neat. It goes off about every hour and a half right now. It kind of changes throughout the year, but that's what it is right now. And they've got a ton of picnic areas and things for kids to do, so it's a popular place to bring your kids. There's a little farm and just lots of little things to do. But we had a nice little picnic here and got to see the geyser erupt, and now we're going to head off and find our camp for the night. So this is it. This is our next camping experience in wine country. We're at Bothe-Napa State Park, and it's a campground here. It's about $40 a night. There's no hookups, but there are restrooms and showers and water and garbage. This park is located between Calistoga and St. Helena, so it has great access to lots of restaurants and wine tasting. So once we got camp all settled, we took a walk down to the visitor center and learned a little bit about this park and what it has to offer, and also about the history of the park, and got some information on something we're going to do tomorrow. Then we came back here and just rested up and got ready to go out. We are headed to dinner at one of our favorite places we always go when we're in Calistoga. It's Johnny's, and it's a sports bar and it's a locals hangout. The food is excellent. They have a happy hour every day of the week, and that is another tip of mine. When you go out to restaurants, if you hit up the happy hour, it's a really great experience and costs a lot less money. So we're going to head into town and go to Johnny's, and then we'll catch you back at the campfire tonight. Good morning. We had a great night's sleep. It was super quiet here. You might hear the diesel heater running in the background. We're just trying to get the condensation down and dry everything out in there. And Trey is cooking breakfast this morning. He's cooking up some of that beef bacon that we bought at Six Sigma Ranch. How is it?
Good.
Kind of just tastes like steak. Be good steak and eggs though. So we've come just down from the campground where we're staying, and they have this old bale mill, and it's a grist mill, and on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, they do tours and do some active milling. So we're gonna go check this out. There are walking trails from the campground to get here, and if you're staying at the campground, you get half price admission. So it's usually $8 per person. It's gonna be $4 per person for us. So another wine country savings tip.
Upon receiving the land grant, Dr. Bale and Maria set up a homestead and a sawmill, and in 1843 began construction on this location of the original grist mill. This location was selected because if you came from our parking lot, passed over Mill Creek, which is one of several year-round spring-fed creeks in the area. So the water source was why the mill was decided to be put here.
Okay.
So the the gate on the bottom. Let's see two smaller ones at the top and a larger one at the bottom. And we'll find the hillside. So about 18,000 acres. Upon receiving the land grant, Dr. Bale and Maria set up a homestead.
They need primarily shipped up from both ends. That's where the population what was going on, and they were looking to get gold.
It took us a few thousand years to figure out that we could save some of these seeds and use them.
So we just finished our mill tour and we highly recommend it. It's actually our second time doing it. It's really cool. The guide on our mill tour is a famous baker at Model Bakery in Napa, and he just does this for fun. We got a couple of souvenir bags of, I got bread flour and cornmeal. So really cool experience. If you want a little more in-depth look at this really cool place, you can check out my other YouTube channel, Out West US, and I'll have a more thorough video on this grist mill. So we went into St. Helena real quick, and we went to the Model Bakery where our tour guide is the head baker. So that's one of their locations. Got a little bread there and walked around town a little bit. St. Helena is much busier. We prefer Calistoga. So we came back to Calistoga, and we're gonna just kind of walk around town and look for a place to have lunch. Calistoga is known for its mineral and mud baths, so there's quite a few spas here. Sometimes you can find deals on Groupon or at visitcalistoga.com. We're back at camp after our lunch and shopping trip in Calistoga, and we brought our e-bikes along, so we're just going to go for a little bike ride around the park here. There are a handful of yurts and cabins available for rent at the park. The price for yurts is $65 to $85, and cabins are $125 to $225. One of the trails from the campground comes to this pioneer cemetery here. So these are early settlers of the Napa Valley, a lot of them that are buried here. I'll show you around. This Kellogg family buried here, they lived in the home that's now the visitor center for the park. They're working on this pathway. It's a bike path and pedestrian path that connects Calistoga to St. Helena, and it's not open yet, but it's going to be really cool if you bring a bike, maybe in 2024. You ride past all the vineyards and it goes by the grist mill and all the way to St. Helena. Really cool. It's getting a little bit dark, but just going to show you I'm cooking up a really simple dinner tonight. Just have one of these Kevin's Paleo chicken meals. Gonna add some rice and vegetables, and then we'll just sit around the fire and maybe drink a little champagne because it's New Year's Eve. I always do it really slow. It's a trick. Happy New Year! So for champagne drinkers, they sell these little recorker things because you can't put the regular cork back in, but these seal it really well for a couple days. So I'll put a link to one of these below. So we're playing our 1960 board game, Park and Shop. It's really fun. We always play it when we're in the trailer. Well, good morning and Happy New Year. Today is January 1st. We got camp packed up pretty quick this morning and took off. Had a beautiful drive through the vineyards, and now we're on our way home. We hope you enjoyed this wine country series. If you have any more suggestions or comments or tips, leave those below in the comments. I'd love to hear those. And I hope you all have a Happy New Year.